I spent a week in Bogota, and it was nothing like what I expected. For years, I imagined Colombia being this place that no tourist should ever set foot in, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. Bogota ended up being a city that I'd 100% go back to, and in this video, I'm going to show you why.
I don't want no problems today. Please don't come stop my way.
So for starters, I want to talk about things about the city itself that I enjoyed. When you first get there, the airport's surprisingly nice. Like, it's one of the nicest airports that I've been to. I was expecting like a rundown airport that was going to be very disorganized. However, it was pretty well brand new and was a very nice airport. Same with all the public infrastructure. Like, I'd say the roads and the bridges and all of that down in Bogota made the bridges and the roads in Canada look like shit. Like, the ones down there are all like newly paved and very smooth, and I was honestly very impressed with that as well. Now, Bogota does have some rough neighborhoods. However, the nicer parts of the city are amazing. Like, they're definitely livable. Like, there's Dunkin' Donuts there and a lot of other American franchises that you'd see anywhere else. And everything's like very well maintained. And these nice areas are honestly very livable. Another thing that I liked about the city itself was the mountains in the background. I don't even know if you call them mountains, maybe they're hills, but where the city is situated, there's like hills or mountains all the way around them. And it's very nice to look at these when you're like sitting on your rooftop patio or your balcony, and it just adds some character to the city that makes it memorable. Another one of my favorite things when it comes to Bogota is the lifestyle that you can live in the city and the convenience of it. In regards to lifestyle, this is where Bogota wins. You can live an amazing lifestyle for literally nothing. Everything is extremely cheap. Like, you can get an Airbnb for $700 to $1,000. Like, the Airbnb I stayed at was by far my favorite Airbnb that I've ever stayed in, and it was only $1,000 a month. And at $1,000 a month, that's the cheapest Airbnb that I've stayed at to date. Like, $700 Canadian will get you a nice Airbnb in a nice area of the city. And honestly, there's not too many places that can beat this. And aside from Airbnbs, everything else is cheap too. Like, I went to a nice restaurant, ate a fancy salmon fillet meal with a few drinks, and spent like $25 on the entire meal. Like, it was extremely cheap. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and there's not too many places where you can go out and not really have to worry about your money. This is amazing for anyone like myself who's not wanting to spend every dollar they make on living expenses. Like, I'm trying to build up this YouTube channel and invest in business coaching and start up businesses, and that means I need to be kind of frugal with my money. But when I was down in Bogota, I could still enjoy a good lifestyle without spending all my money on it. Like, I still had room to invest in these other things that I wanted to invest in, which made Bogota an ideal city for me. Another one of my favorite parts about Bogota was how walkable it is in the nice areas. Like, within a 5 to 10 minute walk of my apartment were 2 to 3 nice grocery stores that had everything that you could need in terms of groceries. There was more than enough cafes, restaurants, and bars that I could go to, and that would have kept me occupied. I would never have gotten bored in the city. And there's also like 3-4 gyms within a 5-10 minute walk, which was great, as I could literally go to the gym, get a quick workout in, and then go back and work on my YouTube videos. Now, this walkability is really nice, especially in Bogota, as it rains a lot there. So being able to walk everywhere made it nice, because I never really got soaking wet when I went out and did what I needed to do. Another thing that I really liked about Bogota was the food and the drinks. Like, the entire time I was there, I never had a bad meal. I didn't do a whole lot of cooking myself since I was only there a week, and it was kind of inconvenient to cook. So I ordered out a lot and went to restaurants, and not one meal I had was bad. That salmon fillet that I mentioned earlier was delicious. I had a cake at that same restaurant. It was delicious. And I also ordered a lot of meals in, and they were all great. Now, a lot of Latin American cities have Pedosia and Rappi, which are like a delivery service, kind of like Uber Eats. But in Bogota, it was extremely cheap to get that. And this made it super convenient, as I never really had to worry about money when I ordered through them every day. I just got a meal delivered to me. It was quick and easy. And this meant that I could spend more time working on things and didn't really have to spend a whole lot of time cooking. So that was another big bonus for me in Bogota, as I was able to order takeout all the time and never really had to look at my bank account. Now, another thing that I weirdly enjoyed about Bogota was the atmosphere and the vibe of it. So about a year ago, I went to Peru and spent 3 months there, and I really enjoyed like the wild Latin America vibe that it had, and Bogota had this as well. Now, I thought it was going to be extremely dangerous when I went there. Like, I thought that I would have had to Uber everywhere and not really leave my Airbnb. However, to my surprise, I felt very safe when I was there. Like, I still had a feeling that shit could go down and that I had to watch my back, but had I have stayed there longer, I probably would have dropped my guard a little bit and lost this feeling. Is more so like previous conditioning on how Colombia is that made me feel that way, and not so much that Bogota itself made me feel like I was in danger. The only thing that was a little bit sketchy was my doorman had a gun, so that made me have my guard up a little more than in Peru. However, even with my guard up, I was still able to enjoy that wildness that Bogota had to offer. Like at intersections, there's guys walking tight ropes and like swinging from a rope doing aerobatics or whatever you want to call it. And there's like a garbage truck that was like a 3-wheeler, and it's just a completely different world down there, and I loved it. And even with the danger, like I still went out at night and got like an SSD for my computer because I was out of storage and needed more. And first place I went was a little bit sketchy, but even there, it was kind of fun negotiating on a price for an SSD and navigating that whole scene. Like I ended up leaving because I was definitely getting ripped off, but regardless, it was still a cool experience. Like I wasn't in any danger. I was just like, I might have got scammed. And I've kind of grown to love that vibe of having to look out for yourself, if that makes sense. So if anyone else likes that vibe too, I definitely think you'll like the vibe of Bogota. If you want a little less danger, but still get that vibe, then definitely check out Peru. I actually made a video of my favorite things that I enjoyed about Lima, Peru, so make sure to check that out. And don't forget to click subscribe.